Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. It is Karen here with you today. Today I'm going to share with you a page that I have in my large Dilutions journal, and I'm going to be using an image from Michelle Grant Designs, and I've also got some new images that I have stamped out onto some deli paper from Tracy Scott. So I'm starting off with my background. It's already a gessoed page, so I've already got that. The paints that I'm using are from Amsterdam. So I've got a purple, a blue, and a bit more purple. And I can't remember what other colours I used. Oh dear. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend these colours together. So my paints were drying a little bit, surprisingly. So I've had to spritz them with a little bit of water just to help me to get them to move on my page and get them to blend in to each other a little better. So I'm using my 2-inch Dina Wakley brush there just to help blend my colours together. So I've got a brush here, and I'm just dry brushing them on. Like, my brush isn't wet. The only thing that it's wet from is the actual paint. So again, I'm blending those colours out, smooshing them in together, and just trying to make a nice little blend between my colours. So the next colour I've got there is a magenta, and I'm just smooshing that bit in there. Now you may be able to see some water droplets on my page, and what actually happens is, I didn't realise this, but when you drop water onto acrylic paint, it actually lifts some of the colour away. So this is where I get these super awesome droplets in my sky. So I was pretty happy about that. That was a bit of a happy accident. So I'm just using some more paint here, just blending my colours together. A bit more purple, a little bit more blue, some more pink, and fixing up those areas where you may see where I've missed, kind of where I'm holding my finger, but my picture's going to go over that bit, so that won't matter. And just blending my colours together with my bottle. So I will put a list of the paint colours that I've used down in the description below, so you can actually check them out if you want to. You can get them all over the place in Australia, but I'll put a link to where I get mine from, which is Bev's Cross Crafts here in Tassie. So I'm just drying off my page now, making sure that everything's all nice and dry. Just adding in a little bit more pink because it was looking a bit too purpley, and I really like the pink. So I'm just rubbing that in with a bit of paper towel, just smooshing the colour around, just making it nice. And it's looking really quite pretty actually. I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. Just adding in a bit more water so I can get some more spots happening, lifting up. And there's all my paint colours there very quickly. Okay, so I'll just dry that off, just make sure that it's fully dry. So here's my image. Now with my image, I've just printed it out on my home printer. I've actually added some gel medium onto the back just to help seal anything that may pop up through when I glue my page down. And I've got my little Tracy Scott cutouts there. I'm just deciding on where I'm going to put those. So I'm going to add on some collage medium now onto the back of my image, and I'm going to glue her in. I'm just putting my collage medium over the top as well, just to help seal her in. And because before I've actually put the collage medium over the top, I've actually sprayed her with a workable fixative as well, just to help keep those printer inks from smearing all over the place when I'm putting, gel medium and gesso and things over the top. So now that I've decided where I'm going to put my beautiful Tracy Scott stamps, I'm just going to cut them out and I'm going to glue them on. Now I've stamped them onto deli paper rather than straight onto my book because I actually wanted them to be a little bit white, have a bit of a white background, because I was going to colour them. So I wanted them to stand out a little bit. So now that I've got them dry, I'm just going to add my bit of clear gesso over the top of my image. The clear gesso that I like to use is from Liquitex. It's got a nice bit of tooth in it, so any pencils or anything that I plan on using later are going to work out quite nicely over the top. So because I've cut out my image and I've left a bit of a white halo around her, I've decided that maybe I should blend that in a little bit better. So I'm just going to go and add in some paint from the same colours that I was using before, and just with my finger just sort of blend those in, smooth them out a little bit with my paintbrush just to make it blend in a bit easier to the background. You can still see the white. I should have cut it a bit smaller, I think, but I didn't, so it doesn't matter. So we just work with what we got. So I've got my paint, I'm smoothing it out and about. So yeah, I think that looks better now, because now her face is coming out from the background, and the white shadow that was around her that I didn't cut off is now pushed back into the background. So another thing that I've got here is a brand spanking new stencil from Tracy Scott. So I'm just going to add in some stenciling in the same colours that I've actually used. So I'm using the turquoise here, and I'm going to put that around in a few spots. Get out my magenta, put some of that in, and I'm just very lightly putting that onto my makeup sponge and dabbing it through my stencil. So there's not too much paint. If you have too much paint, then it oozes out underneath the stencil. Trust me, I know it took me a long time to actually learn how to do this. Oh dear. So yeah, if you use too much paint, you're going to end up with a big old mess. So you want to use a little bit of paint, not too much, dab it off, and then dab it through your stencil. Well, this is how I do it. So a lot of people like to use an ink dauber and smoosh it all around, but that's not me. So I like to pounce. So I'm just adding in my colours there. So putting a little bit over that bit of edge as well that I didn't cut off, just to help blend it in a little bit. So now what I've got out is my Intense Derwent pencils. I've got them in a big white empty candle jar so that I will actually use them. So they're sitting out on my desk, or not on my desk, on my shelf above my desk, so that I can remember to use them, because I've had them for years and I never use them. And they're awesome pencils. So they're like watercolours, but when the water has evaporated, you're just left with the colour, and then the colour doesn't move. It's awesome. So therefore, if you want to add other things over the top of it, the colour that you put down is not going to smoosh and go everywhere. I don't know why I was thinking I needed to put blue strands over her face, because that looked really horrible. So I'm just wiping that off with a baby wipe. And I can do that because I sealed my paper with that clear gesso and collage medium before I started. Yeah, that's what you want to do. So if you make a mistake, you can actually clean it up if you have sealed your papers accordingly. So now I'm just trying to decide on what I'm going to do. It's like, yeah, I'm going to add some colour into these awesome shapes that Tracy has made. So I'm going to grab those Intense pencils again, and I'm going to roughly scribble out some colour onto my shapes. So some of these you probably won't be able to see very well on screen until I wet them. But I've got pinks and blues and a lime green and a fuchsia and I don't know what else, maybe orange? I can't really remember. So here, when I've wet them, you can actually start to see them a little bit better. They're starting to pop out. So this is why I wanted them on the white paper, so that when I did actually colour them, you could see them better. So if I just stamped them on there, I wouldn't really been able to colour them in all that well. So I've just got another pink there, adding some pink onto my girl's lips. Now the image that I have there is designed by Michelle Grant. I can't remember whether I said that or not. Anyway, it's a Michelle Grant Warrior art pack, and this is an image from that art pack. So I'll put a link to that in the description box below, so you can go check out Michelle's awesome designs. Yeah, so that's that. And Tracy stamps, I'll put a link to those as well. I get those at my local craft shop, which is Bev's Cross Crafts. So I'm just adding in a little bit more colour into my fancy little shapes, making them look super cool. Blotting off a little bit of the excess. So I'm trying to decide what I'm actually going to put on that facing page, because I really liked how it was and I didn't want to stick anything too much over the top. So I'm thinking I'm going to put a big quote on there. Before I do that, I'm just going to add in a little bit of pastel onto my girl, just to give her a little bit more colour, a little bit more shimmer. So these pastels that I have are from Jane Davenport, and the ones that I'm using have got a shimmer in them. So I'm giving her some shimmery hair, some shimmery cheeks, and adding a little bit of shimmer onto her colour bit on her nose. So I think she's looking pretty cool. So now what I've got is my trusty little gold needle tip bottle, and it's got a bit of a mix in it of some golden acrylic paint in a gold and also some airbrush medium, so it's like a one-to-one mix. And by putting it in the needle tip bottle means that I can write with it, I can make dots with it, I can do all sorts of different things with it. So now I've got my white Posca pen and I'm just adding in a few little crosses. Still thinking about what I'm going to actually put on this other side of the page. But I think the little white dots help combine it all together and make it look really pretty. So now I've got a super large silver Posca pen and I'm doing some splats, and of course my splats go everywhere but other than where I want them to, but I did manage to keep them off my girl's face, so I was pretty happy about that. So now I've got some stamps just to help, my background looked like it was really missing something, and then I discovered, well, I haven't done any stamping. My goodness. So I've got out my lovely Paperartsy stamps. I've got a script one, I've got a little mark making one there, I've got some dots, and now it is really starting to look awesome. Well, I think so. I hope you do too. I hope you like it. I hope I'm inspiring you to actually go check out Michelle's images and make some pages with them. So now I'm looking for a quote, and I've actually found one about warriors. So warriors are not the ones who always win, but the ones that always fight. And I thought, well, that's super cool. So it doesn't matter if you win or not, you just have to fight, persevere is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, so now I'm just going around that with my black Posca, just making my letters a little bit fatter so they stand out a little bit more. Just adding some chunkier bits onto the sides. And my silver Posca was still a little bit wet, so I had to fix my black one so that I could keep on writing because it got a little bit clogged up. Anyway, it's all good now. So that's pretty much my page. I really hope you have enjoyed it. I'm just going to quickly dry off those words so they don't smudge and go everywhere. So yeah, so here's a bit of a close-up. You can see some of the sparkles that I've added onto my girl. There's one side of my page and then the full issue. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Bye!